That's right, we got a Nameco and a Barkley here. And you know why we got it? Because
playoffs!
Playoffs? Standard, you gotta do that. All right, Dustin, before we get into our rankings for Week 14 playoffs.
Thank you to our sponsor, fanfootball.ninja. Check them out. Go ahead, get signed up with them, because if you sign up now, they're adding a lot of cool features right now where you can get notifications where big players get dropped in any of your leagues. They're working on their game center, so it's even a better place, a better hub where all of your info is in one spot over all the different platforms of ESPN, Yahoo, CBS Sports, all that other crazy stuff. Sign up now, and then all that stuff will be free for next year. So get in there before the season starts.
All right, quarterback time.
Let's talk about quarterbacks. Number 6, Russell Wilson. I know a lot of people might think about getting cute this week with him at Jacksonville and thinking about maybe, you know, I go with one of these guys that's below him just because of the matchup. It's too scary, but you'll hear us say it all the time this time of year. Don't get cute with your studs, and Wilson has been one of the most consistent quarterbacks this year. You're not going away from him unless you got someone above him on this list.
Yeah, he probably got you in. Gotta have to stick with him. All right, number 18, I want to talk about Jimmy Garoppolo. Like Jimmy G for the 49ers, he actually looked pretty good. I know his stats weren't ridiculous, but 2 quarterback leagues, he's certainly on the radar to put into your lineup. You know, last week, 26 of 37 for almost 300 yards. He didn't have any touchdowns, but I do like him and Goodwin to hook up for a long one this week.
And if you do have questions this week, post them in this video. We've been answering a ton of questions this year. Post them in the video. We'll try to get to it before the game starts. So go ahead and get into that. Running backs. I'm talking about number 6 at running back as well. Mark Ingram playing Thursday night going up against Atlanta. So he's got that toe issue, and as of now, he's being labeled as questionable. Been getting some no-shows at practice, so we'll see if he ends up playing. The toe injury is a little scary, so you're gonna have to, you know, gauge the pregame news that we get in terms of how limited he'll be, if at all. He could move down even as much as like 10 spots if you get a report that says he might be limited during the game. But right now, we got him at 6, assuming he's going to play and be close to 100%.
Number 12, 2 spots ahead of Kareem Hunt, is Rex Burkhead. He's an RB2. Kareem Hunt, like you said, Dustin, is an RB2. Obviously, at this point, he's an RB2, so there you go.
There you go.
Rex Burkhead, though, who's ranked 2 spots above him, and the reason why he's been great as of late, in 0.5 PPR, 23.8 points, 18.3. He's had 4 touchdowns in that span. I mean, he's getting a lot of the red zone looks. Obviously, with the Patriots, always a little bit scary, but I'm feeling a little more confident to really sign off on Burkhead. He's been great as of late, so.
Especially with Gronk out, could get some more red zone looks. Joe Mixon, I want to talk about at number 23. He's got a tough challenge ahead of him to clear the concussion protocol on a short week. But if he does, we got him at 23, you know, going up against Chicago. But if he ends up not clearing, make sure if he's out there and you own Mixon, Bernard needs to be owned in a lot more leagues. He could get a ton of touches if Mixon ends up sitting. So keep that in mind. We would move Bernard way up if he ends up getting the nod.
Number 29, I got Derrick Henry, and I actually had a buddy ask me Henry or Hunt, and you know, obviously at that point you got to go Hunt. But here's the thing: the reason he asked that was, you know, he had almost 110 yards and a touchdown last week, and he's like, oh, is he really coming on? But you have to look at it. His attempts the last 2 weeks have been 11 rush attempts and 13. So he's still getting the same volume. It's just, is he going to break a big one or fall in the end zone? It's still too risky to have him be a lock starter for you. That's why we have him as a flex play at best this week.
Yeah, that last touchdown run was a little fluky in terms of, you know, having confidence to put him in your starting lineup. Congrats to our FanDuel winner from last week, Charlie Hotel. Go ahead.
Chuck!
Charlie Hotel. Go ahead and get into our game. You get the t-shirt if you win. You get the cash if you win. Click on the link in the description. And if you sign up and deposit $10 or more, you get a free entry into the Sunday Million. So check out FanDuel, links in the description. Let's move over to wide receiver, Brandon Cooks I want to talk about. And here's kind of the same thing, which is don't get cute. I mean, I know Cooks has been a roller coaster ride, but he's always just one play away from having a monster week. I know he has maybe a slightly lower floor than some of the people that are lower on this list, but his ceiling is among the highest of anyone in the league. You're still starting Cooks. don't be scared away from his, subpar games. He's got huge play potential.
Number 13, we got Marvin Jones, and the thing I really like about Jones is he's been pretty consistent as of late. In the last 3 weeks, averaging about 8 targets, 90 yards, and a touchdown. There's no reason to think that won't keep up. We have consistently ranked him over Golden Tate, and has been consistently right, so I feel it's going to be correct again this week.
Move on to the next 20. I got Amari Cooper at number 24. He has passed the concussion protocol, but now they're saying his ankle issue could be an issue for him on Sunday. But if he ends up playing, he's a very interesting start, because don't forget that one monster game he had this year was against Kansas City, and Kansas City's defense looked awful last week, so you got to think there could be some points to go around in this one. So if Amari Cooper looks like he's going to be close to 100%, he could definitely be a solid play this week.
I'm going to talk about Cooper Kupp next. While he hasn't been finding the end zone, the thing that I like, and if you've been watching Smack Talk, Namco loves some targets. Targets as of late, 6, 11, 7, and 7. He's going to get close to, I'm going to guess, around 7 targets again. Is he going to find the end zone? It doesn't look likely. However, he certainly could, especially in PPR leagues. I think you have to have Kupp in your lineup if you're starting 3 wide receivers.
Moving to tight end. Tight end's been rough this year. It has been gross. Ugly. And now you take Gronk out of the picture, it gets even more ugly in terms of just who your options are. If you had Gronk, you're probably just looking for scraps on the wire. But I want to talk about Evan Ingram at number 4. He had those 2 down games, but then, last week he comes roaring back. But it'll be interesting because they are going back to Eli now, so we'll see how that goes. But decent matchup against Dallas. We still think Evan Ingram's top 5 tight end this week.
Number 9, I want to talk about Cameron Brate. Obviously, he had 2 touchdowns last week, so a lot of people are thinking about picking him up potentially even and starting him. But just buyer beware. He also had only 2 catches last week. 2 catches, 2 touchdowns really inflates those stats. He did have 6 targets, and with Winston back, Winston does like him. So I don't mind him. He's in our top 10 for a reason. He's just not a guy that you're like is a lock based on if you have an Ingram or something like that, obviously.
Has been an ugly year for tight ends, though. Let's move on to those defenses. Number 4, Baltimore Ravens. They have been solid this year. They've had a couple duds, but they've had a lot of really monster games. But they're at Pittsburgh. That's a little scary. Pittsburgh's obviously been coming on as of late. Over-under on that one's 44. Pittsburgh's favored by 5. This is a tricky one, and I do think they do have a low floor this week, but they create so many turnovers, and there's always just that one play you need, that one pick 6. So we're not getting completely scared away from Baltimore with their matchup at Pittsburgh.
Number 10, I want to talk about the Chargers. The Washington Redskins have to fly across the country, play the Chargers. The Skins are pretty much out of it, so how are they going to respond? Their heart's really in it this week, while the Chargers still certainly have playoff aspirations. Over-under's 46 in this one. Chargers are favored by 6 points as well. Last 2 weeks, Chargers have only given up 16 points, have had 4 turnovers. And again, I really question the East Coast flying west and how much has their heart been in it. Should be interesting. Again, the Chargers aren't the greatest defense in the world, but if you've been pick up and playing, you could do worse than the Chargers.
So good luck in the playoffs.
Playoffs, baby!
14. Like we said before, post questions in this video. We'll answer as many as we can. Give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel.
If you give us 1,500 likes, I will let Dustin pretty hard, open hand, smack me in the face in one video.
About 1,500 likes?
What do we normally get, like 20? Is that like
we'll get
ridiculous?
More than that. But hey, we'll see.
Well, okay.
1,500. Let's see.
Let's see. Hard. Okay, well, nothing more will he enjoy.
That would be fun. Come on, people. Yeah.